Hi everyone, my name is Lucky, and today I wanted to do a video completely unrelated to the reason we're all stuck at home, and that is a video on my favourite topic, which is travel. I thought I would share my favourite things about being a traveller and travelling in general. So, yeah, if you'd like to see more travel videos, that's something I think I should film and do, although I find it really difficult to unscramble my thoughts. But if you'd like to see more travel videos, leave a comment below, give me a thumbs up on this. And I definitely need lots of support on this channel because YouTube has demonetized me because I took a break. My videos are not getting suggested, which is why my viewership is so bad, I think. And yeah, any help would be appreciated. So subscribe or share my video or recommend it or whatever. Okay, yeah. So my favourite things about travelling would have to be when I was young, I remember my mum said to me that her worst fear was to be born and to die in the same place and not have discovered some of the world. And I think that really resonated with me at a really young age. And I also read books when I was about 13 about young women in Saudi Arabia. And I think that really did something very strong to me. It really resonated with me how lucky I was to have been born a woman in Australia to pretty chill parents, not very religious, and I had all this freedom that these other women didn't have. And I think those two things combined really had a huge effect on me wanting to travel and be my own person. I love that when you travel, you have an idea of somewhere and traveling in general, and then after you've done it for a little while and after you visited a bunch of places, you realize that your ideas of things are just that, and you can apply that to other areas of your life. You know, when you have an idea of a city and you go there and you realize, oh, that was just my perception based on my own experience, memories, and things I've been exposed to, you can apply that to other parts of your life when you make a snap judgment or when you perceive a situation with a friend, lover, or colleague. You can remember, like, oh, this is just my perception, and my perception is based on the things I've seen and experienced in life. And it doesn't mean that my perception is the true reality of this thing that's happening, which would be good to have maybe a different perspective of. So I like that it gives me amazing perspective and reminds me to stay humble in the fact that the way I perceive things is literally just that. It's just a thing in my head and it's not the way things really are. On a really basic level, I love that when I hear of a city or a country on a movie or in a book or when someone talks about it, often I can think to myself, oh, I've been there. I know what that city sounds like or smells like, or I've heard that language, or I've tried that food, or I've seen that famous landmark. You know, that always gives me a buzz. After all these years, it gives me such a huge buzz. Obviously, the main thing that I think that's really important about traveling is the kind of soul education and heart education that it can give. It really does help you see the world as a much bigger place and a much more connected place. And it really does help you to realize that we are all just kind of running around on this planet trying to do things that we consider happiness or success. And there can be someone in a completely opposite culture to you who's grown up completely differently, who shares some of the same ideas that you have. And that's really beautiful. And I think it really is very humbling. And there's nothing quite like seeing the rest of the world to learn a little bit more about yourself. One kind of surprising thing that I love about traveling is it's kind of like having a tattoo. When you look back at a city that you visited, you kind of remember how you felt then. And often, if it's years later, you realize just how young and stupid or confused or whatever the evolution is that you see, it's so prevalent, you know, because you can go back to that distinct time with that memory and you remember how you felt in that city, and you can really see kind of your evolution the same way as when you look at a tattoo that you got when you were really young and you thought, wow, this is going to be like the coolest tattoo ever, and this is such a great idea, and you look back and you don't dislike the tattoo, but you're like, oh man, that's so cute that I thought that that was the epitome of great tattoo art. I love that traveling has taught me how lucky I am and how privileged I am to be able to travel. In Circus, I work with a lot of people from the Ukraine and Russia and different parts of Eastern Europe, and they have such a hard time getting visas sometimes to work. And it's crazy because they're so talented and they're so hardworking and they're so important to the industry. To think that my passport allows me to travel easier than theirs based on what? You know, half of the acts that I meet that come out of the Ukraine shit all over my act. You know, they're amazing, they're epic. And to think that they struggle to travel just because of their passport is just insane. And then I think about all the people who just don't have that opportunity or money or even ability to have a passport or go travel, you know? So it's really made me feel extremely, extremely lucky. And I don't ever want to take my ability to move freely around the world or move at all or be free at all for granted. My daily freedoms are massive, they're huge, let alone the fact that I can go to all these places. So it's made me very, 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 very thankful. This might sound weird to people who don't travel a lot, but traveling a lot has made me really appreciate staying still. I can totally understand the feeling of agitation and wanting to. Do I have a booger hanging out my nose? Oh God. Anyway, I can totally imagine feeling antsy and needing change all the time. And because I travel so much and I have that change so often, when I am home, wherever that happens to be, and I'm not moving about, I'm so thankful for it. And I don't crave anything other than that basic little routine of sofa and Netflix and gym, basically. And I love that because I don't think I've felt content for many, many years in my life. I think that's a problem for humans in general. We have this issue with feeling content. And I feel like now I'm so content when I'm not moving about. And I'm content when I get settled in a different city. I am so, so thankful to my traveling life to extend my ability to just be so adaptable. I'm very adaptable anyway. I think having been through the social system as an orphan as a kid and living on my own since I was super young and kind of living a little bit of a, I don't know, transient lifestyle when I was quite young, like under 18. And traveling has just extended upon that the ability to show up in a new city, in a new room, with a new bed, with a whole new time zone, language, culture, everything. And within pretty much 24 hours, I feel at home and settled. All I need to do is get to my little shops to get some of my organic things and creams and stuff like that set up in the bathroom. I get the Wi-Fi on, I put my silk pillowcase on the pillow, and that's it. That's my home. And the last thing, and probably the best thing that I love about traveling, is getting to meet people and realize that we're all kind of very fucking similar. You know, we're all searching for a decent job and friends to laugh with and someone to love us and someone to love, and an idea of success and happiness is pretty different out there, but also we're all searching for those things. It does make me feel less alone in the world the more I travel and the more I see how big it is. So those are just some of my favourite things about travelling. I hope this was a bit of positivity today for you and inspiration for after this is all over. I'm sure we're all going to travel a lot more consciously and more intently. I think it's important for us to remember to try and have as small an impact as possible when we're traveling, be extra cautious about being clean and sustainable and not impacting the environment or the people around us, and being super respectful when we go and enjoy another place, another culture, someone else's food, someone else's city, someone else's world. All right. Thanks for coming with me today, guys. Bye.